Hi everyone, today we're doing a front split focus stretching class. So today you will need a mat. You'll also need blocks or something that resembles a block to help you balance in your lunges. And then also, because we're in a lunge, you can grab something squishy for your knee. So I have my sweater kind of rolled up. If you have a towel or a pillow or anything, just to add that extra padding. And let's get into it. Let's warm up. So we're gonna go into our skips or marches, so stepping it out. Good, and bringing it back. For this one, we're gonna jump side. The back leg's gonna point behind, jump to the other side, and then we're gonna think of little fast runs over to the other side of your mat. Here we go. Back to center, into little ponies. Add the arms. Round two, here we go, skips. Good, let's hop side. And to our ponies. Add the arms. Good, and walk it out. And let's just take it into a nice wide second. Let's take that one leg and we're just gonna turn it out. So my toes are facing the other side. Well, this leg, the toes are facing towards the screen. And we're gonna walk it down that front leg. You could grab onto your blocks if you need to, just to add a little extra height so you could keep that front leg nice and straight. The back leg, we're just gonna think of bend and stretch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then hold that little bend and we're just gonna pulse it out. 1.
If you would keep me waiting, I would wait a lifetime.
And let's straighten that back leg, walk it towards the center and just turn that toe so it's back parallel facing the front. We're gonna bend the knees looking forward and stretch and bend and stretch and bend and stretch and bend and stretch. Let's take that other leg and turn it to face the opposite end. Walk the hands over So the hands are on either side of that foot, and then that back leg will just bend and stretch.
Yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove. Yeah, that baby, I got you.
And hold that bend. Let's pulse it.
Yeah, baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Baby, I got you. I got you.
And we'll straighten that back leg, walking your body towards the center. Just rotate that toe so it's facing the front, and we'll bend both legs looking forward and stretch.
You, baby, that makes me feel complete. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you.
And stretch. Let's add a little bend in those knees to roll it all the way back up to a standing position. Good, we're gonna bring those legs in. Let's start with the right leg. So just think of bringing it back. We'll reach our arms out to the side, nice strong arms. We're gonna kick that leg forward, 3 steps, 1, 2, 3, and then the other leg will kick.
Yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove. Yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance.
2 more.
Yeah, baby, I got you.
Let's face to the side. Now you can use a wall or really squeeze that core. We're gonna take that one leg and think of kicking it directly behind you. And then bring it in and switch other side. Good, and back. We're gonna go into some calf stretching next. So you will need your blocks. Go ahead and grab your block, and you're gonna place your blocks down. So depending on flexibility, you can use one block or you could stack them up. I'm gonna place my toe on the block and press the heel down. So if you don't have blocks and you have a staircase or anything like that to use for your toe, I want you to really focus in on your hip bones. So both of my hip bones are facing forward and that back leg is parallel. I don't want to be opening up. From here, I'm going to keep that front leg nice and straight, and I'm going to think of bending over top of that leg. So if you start to bend that leg, then you've gone too far. Bring it up a little bit, and you can bring your hands down. You can see Mei Fang's using a block to help her stay up and keep her balance. From this position, we're just gonna think of pulsing it. So again, make sure that those hip bones are facing forward. So what tends to happen in this stretch is we open up that back hip, so my hips are not in alignment. I want to think of rotating it down. So almost as if I could place a cup of coffee on top of my lower back, and it should be able to stay there and not tip over and fall everywhere. So let's just add little pulses, thinking of your nose going down to your toes. Let's just hold here. So if you want more of a stretch, I want you to think of, again, you're keeping your hips aligned, but if you want to think of rotating yourself forward, so I'm going to send my weight a little bit more towards that front leg. This will make it a little bit more intense. You're just breathing through it. You'll feel it in your calf. Sometimes people feel it up into the hamstring depending on what muscle group is tighter. Maybe you feel it in the whole back of the leg. So just making sure you're breathing into those muscles that might be screaming at you. Tell them it will be okay. Good, let's pulse it out. So staying here and try to pulse it a little bit deeper into that stretch. And then let's hold it here. Now from here, just bring it up a little bit if you need to. Keep those hip bones facing forward. I want you to think of arching that lower back. So I'm gonna try to think of sticking out my bum, and then I'm gonna tuck my pelvis underneath. So you're gonna think of sticking out your bum, and then tuck. And then let's hold that arched back position. Good, let's bend that back leg and just slowly walking yourself all the way back up to a standing position. Take that leg off and just very slowly kind of roll out the ankle, walk it out. That leg might feel a bit different than before. And whenever you're ready, let's take it into the other side. So we're gonna take that other foot, toe goes onto the block. You're gonna press the heel down. Just take a moment, rotate those hips so they're facing forward. You're gonna walk it down that leg, thinking of staying nice and tall in the chest, and grab onto either your block or wherever you need to go. But this leg has to be straight. So don't cheat yourself by going down and bending that leg. Keep it nice and straight. Be as high up as you need to be. Now that we're in this position, let's focus on finding the hip placement. So again, we don't want to take that back leg and open it up. We want to rotate it down so that our bum or our back is making a flat table. And then let's pulse it out. So I'm thinking of pulsing my nose to my toes. And then you're gonna hold that bottom position. So remember, if you want more of a stretch, you're making sure that that hip or both hip bones are pointing down, and then you can think of just leaning the weight forward over top of that extended leg just a little bit. And you should feel that stretch really opening up that leg. into our second set of pulses, so try to stay where you are and then pulse it a little bit deeper. And you're gonna hold it there. For this next one, you can kind of just bring it up a little bit, just easing it up. And then you're gonna think of arching that back so you're sticking out your bum, and then tuck the pelvis underneath. And last one, let's hold that arched back position. And then bending that back leg and just slowly rolling it all the way back up to standing. Take that foot off of the block and kind of roll out that ankle. Whatever you need to do to bring some movement back into it. Shift your weight back and forth. We're gonna go into our lunge series next. So let's take it down onto the ground. This is where you can grab a little squishy for your knee if you want. If you don't need one, there's no need to grab one. I like to have one. I'm gonna bring it down. And we're also gonna take those blocks, just bring it to either side. And we'll take that one leg forward into a nice lunge position. Now from here, let's ease up out of the lunge. We're gonna tuck the pelvis. Again, keep those hip bones facing forward. Don't let that back hip open up. That pelvis is tucked. I'm gonna lean forward and then I'm just gonna bring it right back up. So you're just kind of going where you feel that big stretch and then you're gonna ease up out of it. And of course, the blocks are there to support you if you need them. And let's hold it down. We're gonna think of side bending towards that front leg. So I'm gonna take that opposite hand up and over, side bending towards the front leg and dropping that back hip flexor down to the ground. So just watching that front leg, making sure you're not opening it up too, so that front knee should be in that straight line. Just gonna swoop it forward and let's press it all the way back. Bring that leg nice and straight, foot flexed. You can use your blocks and be up if you need to. And from here, let's just take that hip. You're gonna think of opening that hip up and then just bring it back down. That foot, so I'm going to think of my toes are trying to point away from my body and I'm just holding it here. Again, flex foot, straight leg. we're gonna rock it forward, back into that lunge position. Take your hands to the inside of the foot. So you can either stay up or you could drop it onto your elbows, or you can even take a block underneath your elbows. And just holding here, think of sinking the hip flexor down towards the ground. Now from this position, let's think of rolling kind of on the pinky part side of the foot, and you're just gonna open up that knee. So I'm gonna think of letting this front knee open up to point away from my body. Now you can either hold here, or if you want more of a stretch, you're gonna take that same leg as that, or same hand as that knee that's open, and you're gonna gently apply pressure to open up that hip. Let's bring that knee back in. So I'm gonna put my whole paw print of my foot on the ground. And then I'm gonna think of my opposite hip as that leg that's forward. I'm gonna rotate it and think of pointing that side of the hip down to the ground. So as you can see how Mei Fong's dropping that hip flexor down to the ground. Bring it back to center. If you're on your elbows, walk it back up to your hands. You're gonna bring it all the way up into a lunge, so grab onto those blocks if you need. Just finding that nice lunge. So from here, I'm gonna think of pushing my front foot into the ground and my back knee into the ground, and I'm gonna try to think of sucking my legs closed. So I'm gonna try to think of closing your legs. So push the knee, the foot into the ground and squeeze the muscles, and we're gonna hold 2, 3, 4, and we're gonna relax it down. Good, hold it here. So every time that you relax, you should be able to sink a little bit deeper into that stretch. Here we go again. Let's press knee and foot into the ground and hold. And release. Allow the body to sink a little bit lower. We're gonna go into one more set. Here we go. Push, squeeze, hold. And relax. And let's just hold that lunge. And we'll lean it forward over top of that front leg. Gently press it back. Bring the hands to the inside of that leg just so you can circle it all the way around. Let's go into that other side. We'll find those blocks, bring it up, and just take the other leg forward into the lunge. So from this lunge position, I want us to just ease up a little bit. We're thinking of the hip bones facing forward, nice and square hips. You're tucking the pelvis underneath, and you're just gonna rock it forward to where you feel that really deep stretch, and then ease up a little bit. That lunge. From here, we're gonna take that opposite hand as that front leg. We're just gonna think of side bending towards the front leg. As I'm doing this, I'm still actively thinking of sinking that hip flexor into the ground to really feel it opening up. Forward, press it back. We're gonna think of that straight leg, flex foot. So remember, you could be up higher if you need to. And from here, we're just gonna think of opening up that hip. So we're gonna think of rotating the foot in and then drop that hip down to rotate the foot to turn out. Think of turning the foot out, so I'm pointing the toes away from my body, and you're just holding here. Again, you're thinking of that straight leg, flexed foot. And let's bring it forward, back into that lunge. You're gonna bring your hands to the inside of that foot. So you can stay up here, or you could drop it down to your elbows. From this position, I'm just gonna think of opening up that front leg and kind of rotating the foot. So you're gonna put the weight on the pinky part or the outer portion of the foot to drop the knee away from the body. Now you can hold it here, or if you feel like you need a bit more of a stretch, you can take that same hand as that front leg and gently apply pressure to open up the knee. And then we'll bring that leg back in. From here, we're gonna take now the opposite side, so that outside hip, and we're just gonna rotate it so it's pointing towards the ground. it back to center. If you're on your elbows, take it back up to the hands. We'll press it up and just finding your blocks and recenter yourself back into your lunge. So from here, we're gonna squeeze all of those muscles and then we're gonna relax them. And every time we relax them, we should relax a little bit deeper into that stretch. So we're gonna push the foot and the knee into the ground. Try to think of closing the legs, but you can't because the floor is in the way and you're gonna hold. And relax a little bit deeper into that stretch. And second set, here we go. Let's push, hold, squeeze. And relax. Last time, here we go. Let's push, squeeze. And relax. You're just holding that deepest portion of your lunge. That back hip flexor should feel open. And let's lean it a little bit forward to press it back. Nice and gentle. Hands will go to the inside of that foot. Just circle the leg all the way around to be back on your knees. Amazing work, everyone. So we're gonna finish it off by going into our splits. So depending on where you are in your splits, you can use your blocks to add a little extension from your arms. Bring your body up. You're gonna take the one leg forward and you're just gonna hold it up. Yes, so see how Mei Fong, she's keeping both of her legs nice and straight. We just did a bunch of lunges. You don't need to go back into a lunge, you're holding it up there. Or you could just bring it down as far as you can. If you're in your splits and you want more of a challenge, you're gonna stack up your blocks. You're lifting that foot up and over onto your blocks. And I do want you to think of keeping the hips square. So sometimes we open up that back hip flexor in some certain moves, which is okay. But in terms of split stretching, you get more of a stretch in that front hamstring by keeping the hips nice and square. So because we're stretching and you're at home, you might as well stretch with the square hips to get that deeper stretch. And let's just lean forward a little bit over top of that front leg, or you're just holding it. Bring it all the way up and let's gently come out of it. So you're going to think of going towards that front leg or dropping the knee. Bring it back. Take a moment here. Let's switch it out. We'll go right into that other leg. So we know our different options. You're either holding the blocks, following Mei Fong, or you're going into just your regular splits, or for more of a challenge, you're gonna put the front foot on top of those blocks. And even if you're not down fully in your split, but you're really close to your split, you can use the blocks. This will add more of a challenge. more of a stretch. And then you do it a couple times, take the blocks away, then you'll probably be down in your full split. I mean, of course, stretching consistently. And then from here, we're gonna lean it over top of that front leg, or you're just holding it. And we'll bring it all the way up. And let's lean towards the front. Yep. And bring those legs in. Good, let's tuck those toes underneath. Press it up into that standing position. You're gonna walk it in. Then those knees will roll it all the way up. Let's take the feet nice and wide, just kind of walking it. Move your hips side to side. Make sure that your legs can support your weight because we just stretched them out. Good, nice and wide. Let's take a big inhale. Exhale, drop it down. And inhale up. Exhale, flop it down. Good, give me one more big inhale. Exhale, flop that body down. And let's roll our arms at the very top and shake it all out.